Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Now what I've got for you today is something special. This is an Archon match, a 4v4 Archon match between 8 pro gamers. Now in case you're unfamiliar, Archon Mode is a mode in StarCraft 2 where you have several players controlling one base at once. So right here in the bottom left hand corner of every dream, that's map number 1 in this series, playing with the blue Zerg drones, we're looking inside of the main base of none other than Serral, Reynor, Elazer and Lambo. Or apparently as the game writes it down is Lamp plus 3. Lamp plus 3. I don't know why it says that, but I guess it's just, you know, shortening up Lambo and then it added plus 3 on the back of it. But it's indeed Serral, Reynor, Elazer, and Lambo. Their opponents in the opposite corner, apparently putting already a spray right there inside of that mineral line, playing with the red Terran SCVs. We have Clem, souL, Kelazhur, and Harstem. So here we go. 8 top-level European pro gamers. This should be a crazy game of StarCraft. As you can see, since they have nothing to do in the early game, I mean, you have one guy apparently microing this supply depot for absolutely no apparent reason. Now, I can warn you guys in advance, I am going to be missing many of the things. I'm going to try my very best to observe and cast this at the same time. But since we do indeed have like 4 pro gamers playing one side at once, right? I mean, obviously, the Medevac micro, the Reaper micro, and all of that is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Because on paper, you can get like infinite value out of a lot of these units. Now, in case you're interested in seeing the first-person view, both Lambo and Harstem posted their first-person view of this series on their YouTube channels. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, obviously after this one, right? I mean, obviously you don't want to tune away right now, but if you want to check out the first-person view, I will go ahead and post a link to their channels down below in the description of this video. I was gonna say, what are they doing? I think they're playing rock, paper, scissors. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you gotta entertain yourselves, right? I actually wonder, like, what the order of things is right now. Like, who's playing here for the Terran at this point? I'm sure that they have decided to divide up most of the tasks, and right now is when the second player kicks in, getting to micro that one Reaper. Is the guy still microing the supply depot? No, not quite. Anyway, so the potential here is absolutely ridiculous. In my personal experience, when playing Archon Mode when it first came out a couple of years ago, I kind of sucked at it. I mean, I tried doing like 2 and then 3 and then 4 players all at once as well. But I felt way better just playing by myself. Just because it's really hard to like communicate and then actually execute at the same time. Because you have to actually talk about what's happening here. The sickest drone micro of a lifetime. It's so strange seeing the little like dotted line around that one drone and knowing that one player is holding that with all of their attention. Not something we normally have in SC2, but for like personally, I tried playing Archon Mode even with some very high level players, and it's just really difficult. Like, you have to communicate and talk and, you know, make sure that everything is going smoothly and that you're making sure you're actually on the same line when it comes to the strategy and whatnot as well. Regardless, as you can see, the Zerglings are being microed pretty much all individually. The Reaper really not getting all too much done here because the Queens and the Zerglings are all microed to the absolute highest potential. Now, Lameo? Tumor easy? Okay, sure, yeah, a little bit of trash talking here as well. I have no idea. I guess, Tolson Guard, by the way, is Harstem's account, if I'm not mistaken. I guess he's the one microing this Reaper or something like that. He's at the very least trying to make sure that he slows down that Reaper ever so slightly. A couple of Hellions join in right now as well. And we do see the double Tech Lab follow-up here on this side of the Terran. So this certainly is going to be a bit of an aggressive opener with the cloaking field already coming up. Apparently they're the one Marine still selected over here. What you got to keep in mind right now, right, is that there's a pro gamer holding one Marine here. Well, he's got 2 Marines now. Apparently he's been gifted the gift of another Marine, but yeah, they are obviously most of the time playing with like 300-400 actions a minute at this point in the game. Right now, nah, just, you know, one group of Marines. That's all you get. Anyway, so defining up the tasks and using the all army hotkey are gonna be very, very difficult. Now, most of the top level pros, they don't use the all army hotkey, but every once in a while they might, like, you know, slip into the bad habit. It does have its use, obviously, but most of the time, I mean, if you pull the all-army hotkey right now, you also pull all of the units that your allies are controlling. So, at least that's one of the problems that I ran into when I tried to play some Archon Mode myself. Pretty standard opener, though, all things considered. It is indeed going to be that bio style here from the Terran players. Plural, that is, Terran players. It means that, you know, they're going to be able to micro those meta effects like absolute crazy. I feel like on paper, mid-game is probably gonna go in favor of Terran. If I were to make a guess, right, if you assume perfect micro, I mean, the potential in Metavex, like, what, are they just pinging? He's keeping track of the Banshee with that one Zergling, and he keeps pinging it. Okay, perfect. I think mid-game is probably in favor of Terran with perfect micro. Although, late game, I mean, imagine the micro you could pull off with, like, Infestor, Viper, Queen, Corruptor, Brute Lord, you know, that kind of unit composition. I mean, microing one spellcaster each is certainly, it's gonna have a ton of potential, and I'm excited for this. I have no idea what to expect. Alright, so far, though, pretty normal game. We see the standard third base timing right there, double Evo Chamber coming up at the third base here of the Zerg. I'm not a big fan of that. I've talked about that, but, I mean, this is apparently the new standard. Everyone's doing that. Talking about new standard. No, Loko. Ooh, actually, they get a pretty decent move here. The thing is, actually, you know what? One thing I did not quite keep in mind here, while the Banshees are also being microed here inside of the main base. Yes, I think technically the mid game should be pretty good for Terran, but with perfect creep spread, right? I mean, we have probably one of these Zerg players just controlling these queens and then the creep tumors. With perfect creep spread, you can get an insane amount of creep out, and that's one of the mechanics I didn't quite consider until just now, right? So the creep is certainly going to go across this map very, very quickly. Maybe that's going to actually give maybe actually going to give like the Zerg players the edge here, because they can just simply see every single incoming drop just because they have a ton of vision on that minimap. Third base, though, I mean, it has been landed over at this location here, south of the natural. Double upgrades are coming up. Dude, they keep pinging, and it's a little bit confusing, but I think they're communicating with each other. The Zerglings in the middle of the map. Will they be able to get a kill? One Hellion falls, but so far, actually, this has been a very, very clean game, right? Both of the sides are trying their very best to, I keep like defaulting to my standard lines, right? Like both of the sides. Sure, Loko, good catch. But both sides indeed are trying their very best to get an advantage, but nothing's really happening up to this point. Now this is nice. Getting a little bit of damage in. There's not enough Metavex to pick all of this up, so the Hellions will fall. Brenda and the Knitting crew are apparently immediately running forward, laying down some new tumors to hopefully continue that creep spread. These Banshees, by the way, have been getting a lot of damage in. I think these are the most valuable Banshees so far. They're both at 5 kills each. There you go. Nice little bit of target firing there. I don't know exactly who's controlling this right now, but they're doing a great job. Okay, so immediate +2/+2 here for Terran. Same can be said here for Zerg, as 1-1 is going to finish up here in just a little bit. I highly doubt that this is going to be a build where they're going to push at 1-1. It just really doesn't make a lot of sense. And so far, I mean, this is looking like a pretty standard macro game, right? Both Terran and Protoss, or both Terran and Zerg so far, are having a great time just simply microing a ton of these units. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, no one's really ahead. And while once again this base gets cancelled, there's already an additional base over here up north, and they could always go ahead and take the center base right over here too. If I could divide up all of the tasks, right, I would probably have Serral macroing here. I think it makes the most sense. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it makes the most sense that he's just in charge of the macro and he's just making a lot of stuff. Oh, now, this is going really well, though, for Terran. Like, forcing that council several times, forcing the council right now on the Spire as well. This is looking pretty good. I think Clem is probably going to be the one that's spending a lot of time right here dropping and just simply harassing. I can imagine they probably also gave Harstem a couple of Metavex here to control, because, well, Harstem is a Protoss player, of course. While I'm sure he's more than capable of playing Terran, he's probably not as comfortable playing Terran as some of these Terran pros are. Why is there a drop over? Why is there a ping runner over here on the minimap? I get distracted by the pings every single time. I think there's something exciting happening, but I think they're just communicating like, hey, you should go over here, or maybe there's going to be a push coming in over in this direction. A couple of Zerglings, though. They notice that there's really not that much of a defense here, so in the center of the map is where most of that Terran army is right now located. A couple of Widow Mines are burrowed as well. Command center will be flying on over. Base on the top left-hand side right here has still been mostly unharassed. I mean, they've been trying to do a little bit of damage over there, but this is good defense so far here up north. Base in the center, though, is going to be a tricky one. Yeah, this is a really beautiful staging ground, right? So right now the planetary fortress is going up here in the center of the map too. That does now mean that the Terran is going to be able to, like, continuously harass through, like, this choke point over here. And that's exactly what's already happening. I like this position a lot. Mutas are coming up. Now, mutaling Bane, I mean, perfectly macroed, or perfectly microed, rather. You can get an insane amount of value out of it. The Banshees, at, like, no health, finally will be returning on home, it looks like. But they have got 17 kills combined under their belt. Nicely done. Okay, the Queen's taking a lot of damage. I wonder how many tumors they've put down. It must be responsible. Oh my god, he's still going to continue on for a little while longer. Where's the Mutalisk? The Mutas are out. Well, they need to be controlled as well here. There you go. Someone just picked up all of the Mutalisks. And I've got a feeling that these Banshees... Will they go down? Oh no, not the Banshees, man. Oh no. One of the Widow Mines actually got the kill. And there it goes. Second one falls as well. In the meantime, though, in the center of the map, while this battle is happening on the right-hand side... Ooh, the units will just barely be picked off all at once. Man, the micro here is pretty insane, though. I love it. There's Widow Mines burrowed everywhere. Yeah, he's constantly trying to bait, or they are constantly trying to bait these Zerg units inside of the range of those Widow Mines. Nice little bit of micro up north as well, trying to trigger those mines. Spotting the little potholes in the ground. You know, you can see where the mines are located, but you have to be perfect with your control, so you don't really lose too much. This fight in the center, though, going really well here for Terran, right? So Zerg is kind of pushing back a little bit, but Terran's defending just fine. Not really taking a whole lot of damage, and actually this base in the center is now in a lot of trouble. Marines actually just walk up the ramp for no apparent reason. I actually expected them... Oh my god, this is so much damage right now. I actually expected a couple of Banelings to come rolling forward, but are there any Banelings right now? Okay, there's 9 Banelings somewhere. Yeah, they're actually rolling back through the center of the map. It's like, you were gonna morph those in, right? Wait, no, I thought you did! It's one of those moments where you maybe make the assumption that your ally already, you know, morphed into Banes, and then it turns out you have no Banelings at all. Base in the top section right now taken here as well, so nicely done there by the Terrans. That one will morph into a planetary too, but the planetary is not done just yet. I really like this position right now for Terran though, right? So you can do a bunch of damage and that's fine and all, but like, this position here for the Terran in the center of the map is so strong. You're like 2 steps away from the natural, and once you're in the natural, this base over here is going to be in trouble as well. The Mutas, though? You know what? There's a lot of Mutalisks here, yeah. They're capable at this point of, yeah, just simply clean everything up. There's only a handful of Marines. Nicely done there by whoever is controlling that. +3/+3 is finishing up, and that's really where this game becomes very difficult. Notice how Terran is at 3-3, and Zerg is not even at Hive yet. Only just now the Hive is starting up, and, well, a Hive at this point, I mean, yeah, it makes sense when you're playing Mutaling Bane. But generally speaking, it's going to create a huge timing window here for the Terran player to deal with tremendous amount of damage. Now, +3/+3 not done yet. Now it's finishing. And I think this is going to be the moment where the Terrans can really start putting down the, you know, the pressure. I mean, they already have been doing so for a while, but having a double upgrade advantage at this point is amazing. Really, really strong. Especially with fast attacking units, obviously, they all gain +1 additional damage, and it's just huge. Also +1 additional armor on every single one of those Marines. I've got a feeling that this base in the center will once again fall. There's also a bit of a fight happening here up north. I think this is going to be a creep cleaning squad right over here, trying to get some damage in, but the Widow Mines are burrowed, and that's going to prevent them from really, you know, flying in there. Ooh, nice little bit of micro, though. Yeah, actually, I said that they were prevented from flying in there, but not quite. Marines and Marauders and that one Thor are helping out over at the 3rd base of the Zerg. And, well, you can ping on that minimap, but I've got a feeling there's really not that much here for the Zerg players to do. That base has probably got a full nice pickup there as well in the medevac. And this is kind of what I expected. I feel like the mid-game is really strong here for Terran, but it also has to do with the map, right? So this is going to be as, like, close to, like, a perfect game as you can get. There we go. The Zerg players are GGing out. I think this is, like, as close to a perfect game as you can get on this map. And I think on paper, the mid-game, it's really, really strong for Terran. Just having those upgrades finish up faster and, you know, denying the creep and then just pushing through the center. Nicely done right there in game number 1. Now, by the way, I don't think they were playing for any money or anything like that. For those of you unfamiliar, a lot of the pro gamers in Europe as well like to play other games other than StarCraft 2 in their time off. So after a long day of playing video games, they like to chill with some Dota and some other, you know, other games too. I remember them playing like some Overwatch as well back in the day. I don't think they do that anymore, but yeah, they hang out all the time. So this is just like one of those chill gaming sessions where I guess there's still some competitiveness, right? Because obviously, well, I think pretty much all the pro gamers that I know, also from other games, they pretty much all want to play competitive games, primarily. I don't really expect them, what I'm trying to say, I don't really expect them to be playing, like, Animal Crossing or something along those lines, you know? It's just a different type of gamer that's interested in that. I've actually been playing it myself a little bit. I mean, I don't want to turn this into an Animal Crossing video, because I know none of you are interested in that, but it's pretty good. Kevin, what were you up to? Yeah, I was wondering this as well. So Kevin is Harstem. I did the Banshees. Okay. So Harstem apparently was the one, indeed, microing the Banshees and then that Medivac group. The two Medivacs at the top. I love this. No, that was Diego. Diego is Kelazhur. I got it once, it was 11. Wait, what? I got it once, it was 11. I also made the big plans. Unit movement? Okay, fair enough. So I guess Harstem... Harstem was the commanding officer in that previous game. Who was the bottom dropper? That was Diego as well? Okay. Fair enough. I love this. I love how the Zerg players, right? So all of the players in this game are either Terran or Zerg, except for Harstem. So Harstem is a Protoss player. I love how all the Zergs probably were like, so I wonder what Harstem is doing. Because it's, you know, he's in a group with 3 Terrans, so what is he gonna do at this point? Apparently, he's in charge of microing a bunch of units. Those Medivac, or rather those Banshees though, they did a ridiculous amount of damage. I think they went up to like 17 kills is what I said, right before they fell there to the Mutas eventually. Really nicely done. The drops in general though have been really sick. So I guess that does mean that Clem and souL were in charge of the macro. It's probably just one of them, to be honest. I don't really know. But if it was mostly Diego and Kevin then microing the units, maybe like the center drop was like Clem and then maybe souL macroing? I'm not sure. I really don't know. Who's putting these sprays down in the mineral lines? Why are these sprays a thing? Don't get me wrong, I love it. I wish we all put sprays down in mineral lines all the time in StarCraft. Alright, so, once again, Reaper harass. Capable of dealing a lot of damage. You know what's also a thing about Archon Mode? You have to, like, trust that your ally is good enough to, like, control this. Because you can technically have 2 players selecting this one Reaper, and then, like, they can basically give conflicting commands all the time. So the Reaper goes all over the place, and it looks like it's, like, I don't know, using all kinds of drugs to move around. That is something to keep in mind. So you need to make sure that you're really confident in what your ally sees. And you still want to make sure, or what your ally controls, rather, and you still want to make sure that you also, you know, send that information forward, right? So just saying third base is not even necessarily enough. I mean, they probably say standard Zerg opener or something along those lines right now. Look at this. This is so dumb. It's trying to bait Brenda over here. I love this. Okay, so once again, very normal openers. I don't really expect anything cheeky in any of these games. Maybe if at some point, like, one of them is gonna be, or I guess if the Terrans win this one, maybe they can go ahead and, like, do a cheeky game in game number 3. But I don't really expect too much. Now, this is nice. The triple hatch opener basically does not allow you to get link speed out by the time... Okay, I don't... You don't have link speed out by the time that the first 2 Hellions come out. And, the Frooms indeed get into the main base, dealing a little bit of damage. In the meantime, a Zergling apparently also felt very aggressive and runs across the map. Vroom indeed. You know what? That perfect Zergling micro over here, or drone micro over here, actually has still made this only 3 workers right now that ended up going down there at the cost of like 4 Hellions and a Reaper. I don't think that's actually good. And this Zergling over here makes up for a lot of that difference if it was already an advantage. There's 1 worker kill. It's pretty good. Okay, wait, what? Wait. Is this a triple Evo build? Little bit of miscommunication. I think 2 players may have put down their... Yeah, okay, there you go. One of them indeed got cancelled. I think 2 players may have put down the Evos. Making this just a little bit harder to communicate. It's okay though. Why are they pinging a million times? Why is the main command center being pinged? Double NGMA coming up. So this time around, we have a similar build once again. However, this time, rather than going for the lair, we see the double upgrades on the side of Zerg instead. So it's nice. This does mean that obviously tech is going to be a little bit later. But upgrades were, I mean, that really was like the big problem in that previous game, right? So getting the upgrades a little bit faster this time around, I don't mind it at all. Brenda! Get in there! Not quite getting the damage in. Would have been cool if they, like, you know, hold position on the ramp to prevent the Hellions from running away. Viking now, being microed by one player. Is this Harstem back in action again? The famous Harstem micro that I've heard so much about. I love how much intention is being put in one of these units. It's so silly. We never really see that. Now, you know what? This did open up the opportunity right now for these Hellions to run in with the Queens distracted. Whenever, like, Hellions run in 2020, it barely ever seems worth it. Like, sometimes they do a lot of damage, but this is not, like, you know, Wings of Liberty anymore. Yeah, 13 drones end up going down here, which is nice, but I mean, it's not the end of the world if you also throw away 8 Hellions for it, right? So obviously you lose some money on missed mining time and the cost of the drones themselves, but you also obviously lose all those Hellions, so in the end, big picture, it's really not that big of a deal. I also love how they put Harstem apparently in charge of big picture here, despite being a Protoss player. I mean, not that he doesn't understand Terran versus Zerg, but I'm sure, you know, the other players are more knowledgeable about the finer details of this matchup. Maybe not, though. A lot of the pro gamers as well, besides, like, playing other games, they also... I actually was watching this interview with Serral earlier today, and he mentioned that he has been playing a bunch of, like, Escape to Tarkov, which is kind of cool. Apparently, Serral is a big fan as well of playing PUBG, although recently, apparently, it's been lagging or something. Anyways, a lot of them also play with their off races a lot, is what I was going to try and say. So, I casted that game of, like, Reynor playing Protoss pretty recently. And, you know, there's a bunch of them that like to off-race in general. I know Lambo is ranked with all 3 races in Grandmaster League. So he's got Terran, Protoss, and Zerg. I mean, Zerg being his main, but he's Grandmaster with all of them. Most of them like to warm up playing their off-races or just simply like to play the off-races regardless. Now, this was almost a disaster here for Zerg. I think it might still be. Yeah, they're gonna pick up and get on out of there, but I'm sure they're not done yet. Continue dropping right now. Diego once again. Kelazhur going to town. That Liberator in the main base also still denying this. And this is where that mid-game power of Terran once again comes in. 4 guys to look at the main. Ay. A little bit of trash talk here as well. I like this, actually. Harstem apparently now been given the task as well to talk to the opponents, so they're distracted by reading this while trying to simultaneously defend against this aggression. That Viking in the top right-hand corner now has 5 kills! That Viking has 5 kills. I guess those are all Overlords? I love it. That's so silly. It's one of the things that we don't see usually. Just one Viking killing one, you know, Overlord is the standard. But, yeah, technically, I mean, you can continue... Oh, my God, that queen is stuck. You can continue harassing for a little while longer. Now, things, yeah, they're starting to crumble apart once again. And once more, the Terran players obtain the victory. Alright, so game number 3 once again takes us to Simulacrum. Harstem, who is the one that sent me these replays, mentioned that rather than going with a veto system, they decided to go with a losers pick the next map type of system instead. So apparently the Zerg players once again wanted to go ahead and play on Simulacrum. Are you really prioritizing the spray over making a supply depot? I like it. I'm a fan. Yeah, so rather than like going for another map this time around, they decided to go for Simulacrum once again. So most of the time in StarCraft 2 tournaments, the way it works... So currently there are 7 ladder map pools in StarCraft 2, and there have been 7 ladder map pools for a very long time. Say like you have to play a best of 5 series. The players both get to like veto 1 map each, and then they get to vote on the order of the maps in which they... Or like the order of the maps that they will be playing on. Long story short, this time around, rather than vetoing, they decided to apparently go with the losers. The losers pick the next map instead. Just a little bit more convenient when you're just playing with friends, just because, I mean, that way you don't actually have to write things down, right? You don't have to write down the map order, you can just play. Regardless though, Simulacrum, standard macro map, nothing all too crazy. I don't think this map is considered to be Zerg dominant. I don't think so anyway, like, especially not with like the recent changes that they made to this map with the new ladder season. So these rocks have been added, this little section of the map has been tightened up as well. So they've made some minor adjustments to the map that make it an even more defendable map. What's... Really? Really? Alright, we have an Overlord dance now. Thank you, Ovi, for sharing this with us. You gotta do something, right? Gotta make sure your APM is up. Can we actually see the APM? Oh, yeah. I was expecting each and every one of the players to have their individual APM, but apparently it's all combined. This is so stupid. Alright, so I think the way this works is Harstem and Kelazhur won. And then right now against Kelazhur won again. Congratulations, Kelazhur. The rock, paper, scissors champion of this tournament. Good work. Very important. Second gas coming up right now as well. So we'll have to see here what the Terrans are going for. I actually expected maybe a little bit of cheese in this game. I mean, they're 2-0 ahead, right? Oh. That was not ideal. Here I am, hyping up the micro, and then the Reaper steps on his own grenade. That's what happens when I play Terran. Ooh. That was close. That was very close. One Zergling decided to slip by. Nice micro. Nice micro. Is that Piotr? Piotr is souL. It was Kelazhur. Oh, okay. Kelazhur apparently microing that Reaper. I like how he's also calling out Piotr immediately. Nice micro on the Reaper. Ay. That's a little bit harsh. One Zergling did sneak out. Reaper jumps into the main base at this point. Very standard opener though, from both sides once again. Do you think the Zergs are gonna like go for something weird this time then? If they wanted to like specifically play this map again, or do you think they were just like not happy with the way that that game went? I mean, Terran, when they get like a tempo advantage, they get into such a strong position in this matchup, right? Like you can just basically keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and then at some point you can just rally units across the map. You can just like set your rally point over here, and then all the units just run across once you get that tempo advantage, because the creep takes a long time to put down, and you know, once you clean it up and you get a good engagement going, you can usually just pile on top of it, and then at some point the Zerg player usually crumbles. That's basically what ended up happening in that previous game. The one Zergling, by the way, being microed like a champ. It scouted very little, but it scouted all of the important things. Third command center should be starting up here in just a little bit. If this is going to be a standard build, that is. We'll have to keep an eye right here on what the Terrans are going for, because... Yeah? Is he maybe... Okay, is he? Are they? Yeah, there it is. Okay, I was going to say. It's a little bit later, actually, than we sometimes see it. A couple seconds. But 4.5 minutes is about the standard time. Guess it's because they decided to go for a little bit more tech. Regardless, Liberator made its way across the map. And that now means that the drones are going to be pulled away from mining for a little bit. Now, normally, right, we see not, like, all of these things happen at once. So, there's a group of Hellions being microed over here, group of Hellions microed over here, and then a Liberator being microed as well. I mean, while technically that's possible, but also simultaneously macroing, it's very difficult to realistically achieve that in a game of StarCraft, right? And it's really easy for the Zerg. Like, generally speaking, like, being the defensive player is a little bit harder. It's really easy for the Zerg at that point to make one mistake, and then all of a sudden, like, the units group up together, and you're in a lot of trouble, right? Like, losing a couple of drones here would be a bit of a disaster already. So far, though, much better game here for Zerg. Not really taking a whole lot of damage, delaying the third, scouting out exactly what's happening. Once again, a bio transition. Not surprising. Get used to it. I mean, for a while, we saw a lot of Terran mech, but apparently Blizzard also doesn't want to see that much Terran mech anymore, judging by the next patch that they're going for. At the very least, I expect bio to become the gold standard. It kind of already is, but yeah, with the changes that they're making to the Baneling and stuff, I expect that it's going to be a lot of bio. Battlecruiser into bio. I think that's going to be the standard approach in the next balance patch. All right, so first 6 minutes have gone down, and no one's really ahead. Now, the creep spread, though, is getting out of hand. Just take like a mental screenshot of where the creep is at right now. Where's the CC? Are they trash talking it? We've been supply blocked for a minute now. It's because this this positioning on the third CC sucks. Like the the positioning sucks. Like the SCV has been killed so many times. How many SCV kills have we got? Yeah. So I think 3 of those SCVs were killed. Just all the time over here. to delay that third. There it is. Finally it finishes. 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Like 2 minutes. 2 minutes and a little bit after it started up. That's a little bit longer than the actual command center build time is, okay? Yeah, so much better game so far. But anyways, I was gonna say, like, take like a mental snapshot right here of where the creep is located right now, and then check again in about 2 minutes. The creep is gonna be over in the third base of the Terran player for sure. Unless they clean it up over here, but the bottom section is gonna continue spreading for sure. Okay. So, no Mutas, no Ling Bane. Well, still Ling Bane, but Hydras are added into the mix this time around as well. I quite like that. Nice little comp. Pretty strong in general. A little bit, yeah, less microable, I suppose. But still, certainly something you can control. And the creep is going. The creep keeps going. Liberator, how many kills does it have? Only 1 this time around as well. No magical Viking. So no Viking with like 5 kills this time around either. I like the Viking opener a lot, actually. Having 1 player control the Viking and killing like 5 OVs. Pretty significant. Maybe it actually landed and killed like a Zergling or 2 or something. But it seemed like it killed 5 Overlords. Alright. As soon as these units are picked up, the Queens are gonna once again lay down the tumors. And they're gonna continue onwards with the harassment. For a little while longer now. It's nice and all to do this harassment, but this time around, very different than the previous game, right? This time around, it's the Zerg players that are constantly pushing this back. And they're happily macroing up right now. Already at 85 drones, going up towards the Hive, getting themselves +2/+2 going. I think that this is going to be an Ultralisk or maybe a Viper transition or something like that here in just a sec. I guess it's not going to be Vipers, actually. I mean, you can still make Vipers useful, but Widow Mines, obviously, are not siege tanks. That was perfect. That's so cheeky. Ooh, you can actually bait them into, like, the SCVs themselves. Alright, not quite gonna happen. At the same time, though, a drop right here in the top right-hand corner of the map, going after this base once more. Not a lot of Banelings at home. Like, they've been pretty low on the Baneling count here in general. Yeah, if you don't pay attention here, this base will go down very easily. At the same time, the Hellions. Usually they would be picked off by now, but the Hellions getting a little bit of damage done still. Liberator finally finds some damage. There it is. 5 kills. Then decides to go back to the natural. So this is like a little mini-game inside of the actual game of StarCraft all the time. The Liberator mini-game, the Creep Spread mini-game, the Drop mini-game, the Macro mini-game, the Tech Up mini-game. Like, there's these little games happening in these Archon games especially, where, you know, everyone is trying to share the load of the match. It's pretty sick. Okay, now this is a good position here on the Hellions. If they're gonna go down, at least take like 10 Zerglings with them as well. At the same time, the Hydras apparently pushed over towards this command center, and I saw the +300 minerals, meaning that a command center did now just get cancelled there. So nicely done there by the Zergs. Hive is done. Adrenal glands coming up already. Ultralisk Cavern coming up as well. Cool. Yeah, so this is smooth right now. Look at the creep spread as well, right? Like, the creep is pretty much everywhere. I would say about 70% of this map right now is covered with creep. Something along those lines. Nice little bit of harassment over here as well. Up north, I mean, we have once more another janitor crew right over here trying to see if they can clean up some of the creep, because it's basically touching the third base. Not really happening so far. Okay. Ooh, the Widow Mines. Nicely done. Managed to get some good damage in. Oh, those depots help out the Zerg more than they helped out the Terran player there. That was a lot of SCVs that just fell. Yeah, I like this position quite a bit here for Zerg. Can't complain whatsoever. Terrans, though, finally going now for the Drilling Claws upgrade. They won't need that anymore next patch. They just get the free upgrade, I suppose, as soon as they plant down an armory, which they do regardless of these kinds of situations. Because, I mean, you get the armory to go +2/+2 and +3/+3 upgrades. Ovi gets sniped out of the sky as well. Zerglings will be killed. Looks like the Terran army, though, in the top right-hand corner, will be pushed back. Very nice. Zerglings, I mean, they're hunting right now for a 4th base, but it doesn't exist. So, I think that this is going to be an all-in. It has to be an all-in right now for Terran, right? The problem when you go for an all-in, and there's this much creep, is that it takes like 17 scans and like 5 minutes before you actually get close to the Zerg bases. If you don't have a 4th base, how are you going to continue playing this? Zerglings once again came up here as well. More SCVs have fallen, and look at the creep. It's literally on the Terran's high ground here. Yeah, we could use some help here. I agree. Okay, so Widowmine drops apparently are going to be the comeback mechanic here. A little bit of damage being done. GG. Oh my god. Elazer with the BM. Asking for the GG right here of the Terran players. Apparently, they're not gonna quite tap out of this game just yet, but I think he's correct in the sense that there's not that much that the Terrans can do at this point, unless, like, the Zerg players completely throw away all of their units. Ultras are coming up. 3-3 is coming up. This is a Zerg game to lose right now. That's for sure. The third command center, man, like, it's in so much trouble. Like, this command center actually has been an issue the entire game long. This command center has achieved very little. Alright, so much better macro game here by Zerg this time around. Ultras are coming out. They take a little while. About 7.5 minutes for every Ultra to be produced, give or take. A little bit less than that, but they're gonna be fully upgraded as well right from the get-go. Other than their little, like, speed improvement. But, I mean, they don't really need that because there's creep everywhere. They only benefit from the creep spread. Or from the tempo advantage or the speed advantage off creep. But there we go. The GGs are cold. And with that, indeed, the Zergs finally put a point on the board. Alrighty, so there we go. Next map in this series is Eternal Empire. Now, the thing about Eternal Empire, I don't really like it too much anymore for TVZ recently because of this like layout of the bases. I can't believe you guys told Elazer to stop touching stuff and you actually won. What? What? Actually stream cheating? Oh, they may have dropped in on like the voice chat or actually listened to like the stream or something. All right, fair enough. Right, so I don't really, like, I'm actually curious to see what the Zerg players are gonna go for in this game. The thing about this map is that there's only one third base location, right? So the third base location is, it's pretty difficult to defend, right? So if the Terran players like decide to block it, Zerg can't really take a third base anywhere else. So a couple different ways you can approach this as a Zerg. I do not interact with anything else. It's like the controller that isn't plugged in. You go play with that. Is he saying that Elazer is the Luigi of this game? He's like the little brother. Definitely does not get to play with Mario, I can tell you that much. Anyways, Terrans can basically block this third base for a very long time. And usually Zerg seem to go either pull first or play that two-base style. So what were you up to, Kevin? Nothing. Amazing. Amazing. Flew around with Liberators a bit. Man, I feel like Harstem is actually the Luigi of the Terran team now. Apparently, if Elazer was the Luigi of the Zerg team, I guess the same can be said right now for Harstem. They're like, okay, you go play with that Liberator, Kevin. Now, we don't want to hear from you anymore for the next 10 minutes, okay? Okay, guys. Anyways, yeah, third base, hard to take. I wonder if they're going to open up two bases or not. No SCV scout. Why is there no SCV scout? Are you kidding me? That's actually kind of crazy to me. I can't believe that. I wonder if this is going to be that Serral build. Yep, I think it is. So one drone pulled out of gas, which means that they're going to go very quick two-base lair. This is the thing that I made a video about. In case you haven't seen that one yet, I'll go ahead and post a link to that as well down below in the description of this video. If I don't forget to add it, I will add it in like the little information box in the top right-hand corner as well. But because of like this map, not really allowing an easy third base for Zerg, we see, generally speaking, either like a pull first. Okay, nice little bit of harassment. Or this like two-base opener instead. So 2 additional queens coming up at 32. Yep, there it is. They decided to cancel one drone there. I guess someone autopiloted for a little bit. And then double overlord at 36. Yep. So I covered this build order. I've been playing it a bunch myself as well. It's really strong. So basically, when link speed finishes, you go for the third base finally. It's quite late. But it basically allows you to go for a standard opener that doesn't really allow the Terran player to mess with it, you know? Like, on this map, like, you could technically take this as a third base, but I mean, this base is really bad as a third. You have to creep all the way over there. There's this little, like, dip in right over here, too. How are the Terran players pinging right on that second gas? What was that? They pinged right on top of it. Guys, you wouldn't believe the shit we have to deal with here. Alright, so, Lair comes up. Queens have indeed now caught up with the Reaper. 2-base Muta, so lame. Alright, souL apparently not a big fan of it. We'll see. Is he calling it? Like, this is like calling the bluff, right? If I was the Zerg right now, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go something else. Because they're expecting 2-base mutas. So I'll just give them, like, 2-base Roach Nidus or something like that. Ooh. Mind games being played over here as well. I thought that there was an upgrade going up in that tech lab for a little bit. Unless I didn't see it properly. But that Zergling poked up the ramp. And it saw exactly what was going on there. Once again, a Viking probably has been given right here to Harstem. Harstem immediately hunting down the overlords. That's going to be his task over here. He found one. Target number 1. But it is going to be that 2-base Muta opener here regardless. They don't really care. Like this little wall off over here too. Now, what exactly is Terran going to do? So there's a Liberator coming up as well. Maybe Viking has gotten a friend here. Maybe Kevin has been upgraded. Oh my god, once again, that's he gets an SCV. Or they get an SCV, rather. But I think that Harstem is probably going to be allowed to micro 1 Viking and then also a Liberator. It's pretty intense, though. Like, that's the one thing that's kind of stood out to me so far. Like, we all know that Bio is good. We all know that Zerglings are good. But I really am surprised about that Viking getting, like, 5 Overlord kills that previous game. Like, game number 2. You can get so much damage if you just put, like, 100 actions per minute on a Viking and a Liberator. And it looks way easier, or it sounds way easier than it actually is. There we go. There he goes. Second target has been found. This actually is more than 100 actions per minute, though. Adds on pretty quickly. Now, this game, though, it's going to be a faster Muta opener. So, we saw the Banshees getting shut down when the Mutas were out. We saw the Liberator getting shut down when the Mutas were out. We saw the Viking getting wrecked as well when the Mutas were out. This time around, we have the Mutas coming up already. So, what Zerg are probably going to go for here is that quick Baneling speed as well once they have about 8 Mutas. That seems to be the thing that Serral does. Ooh, nice kill there, actually. Wow. Look at this. He got himself a freaking queen. That Viking, dude. Look at that. He's going to go for another Overlord. Ay, ay, ay. Anyways. So, likely going to be like 8 Mutas and then a transition towards Baneling speed here shortly and additional upgrades as well. Is he going to get that kill? Nah, he won't. Fun fact. Did they heal up? There you go. They heal up when they morph into an Overseer and it finishes. Crypto has been denied quite nicely here so far. And Terrans are just simply transitioning towards a very standard game. This time around, they got the 3rd base up. Pretty much uncontested. I mean, we saw a couple of Zerglings running around in this section of the map, but nothing all too crazy. Baneling speed coming up. +1/+1 already happening here as well. That 1/1 is very quick, by the way. Like, that 1/1 upgrade, very, very nice. Now, I can guarantee you that there's going to be one Zerg player here tasked with just controlling these Mutalisk. That is nice. Like, controlling these Mutas here, very, very nice. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Like, Mutas are one of those units that really require a lot of babysitting. And the more you control them, generally speaking, the better they become. Assuming you don't lose them randomly. It's kind of like that Viking, but then, you know, on crack or something. Like, you can get way more value out of Mutas, obviously, than you can get out of a Viking. Now, this map, though, despite this opener being quite nice, and oh, there he goes again. Are you kidding me? He gets it. Oh, he almost got a drone kill. Not quite. But yeah, like this map, despite this being an opener where Terran can't really mess with you, it still is not an easy Muta map, because like you can only go into the main base and you're stuck inside of the main base. Generally speaking, Mutas are nice, but not necessarily like absolutely amazing here, I would say. Okay, got himself a kill. Or they got themselves a kill. Alright, so first big push I think is gearing up right now. The Hellions have decided to join up with the Marines. +1/+1 is done, +2/+2 is coming up as well. And, yeah, while Zerg is obviously buying a lot of time here with those Mutalisks to go up towards a 4th base and, you know, macro up those drones over there too. This is still now going to allow the Terrans to finally start pushing onto the creep as well, now that they have sufficient defenses at home to deal with these Mutalisks. Reinforcing Terran units will probably be enough, although there's no Medivacs here. Yeah, nicely done. Oh my god, that Muta micro, I love it. This is actually now dealing so much damage. At the same time, though, the bio push here on creep, doing decently well. If they get a kill on the 4th, I would love that. That would be a game changer. Oh, yeah, running in with lucky hits for Banelings is not going to happen, dude. Not in Archon mode. Just rolling them forward, trying to get lucky. Not likely to happen, as the bio units indeed load up into the Medivac, and they go towards the high ground instead. Now, these Mutas could be coming home. Yeah, they will be. Well, never mind. I thought they would be, but let's see if there's going to be enough defensive units here as well, though, for the Zergs to deal with this. Oh, great splits right there on the bio, though. That's so sick. Mutas in the meantime, by the way, still dealing damage, but Widow Mines and reinforcing units are going to be able to ward them away just fine. If this fourth base, like this is already a lot of damage, but if this fourth base right now falls, that would be a disaster. I think it will probably be okay. The problem is, though, this battle took such a long time that 2-2 is coming up right now, too. And that's usually when, like, the real big push happens. That's usually the first moment when that really, really big push happens. And when Terran is at their scariest. Right now, the upgrades are even. But when 2-2 finishes, I mean, this is going to be much, much better for Terran. And at that point, I mean, yeah, there we go. They're going to be able to send in more reinforcing units, too. Now, these couple of mutas, though, they have been sniping the Widow Mine. They've been killing a bunch of SCVs. They've just been trying to get maximum value. 9 mutas, though, up to this point have fallen. So that's quite a bit of, yeah, quite a bit of an army there. And the creep now also has not been replaced because that bio army was still occupying so much of that time over here, right? So, good pickup once again. Oh, really nice. There are a lot of Zerg units, though. I kind of feel like, yeah, combining all of the units together here might not necessarily be a bad idea. Just try and go for one big assault over here. Either to, like, get the fourth base, or if you're the Zerg player, just to try and, like, force this army away. Because this is taking too long right now. Every single time that this happens, the hatchery is taking a bit of damage. In the meantime, though, drop over here in the natural. I like that one. Looks like the mutas are still trying to harass over here, too. Oh, these... Oh, yeah. No, these Marines are going to be able to do a lot of damage. At the same time, the Banelings are rolling forward. I love this skirmish over here. So sick. This has to be the best game so far. Really nice. This is a sick back and forth over here. This is the kind of game I love, man. This is like the highest level of StarCraft we're going to be able to see right now, so... enjoy it while it lasts. There's not really going to be a higher game of StarCraft than this particular match right here. Alright. Still the base lives. Units are coming in from the side as well. And looks like once again the Marines will be forced into a medevac. Good defense right here by the Zergs. But while this is all going on, Terran happily went ahead and took the fourth base up on this location here. Which is amazing. Like, this spot over here is so good. I love this for Terran. Unless, like, the planetary doesn't finish, right? This is actually really critical right now. Oh, they're gonna be rolling in with the Banelings, trying to get the value on the... Oh my god, SCVs! I was gonna say they didn't get anything, and then the SCVs almost rolled to their graves instead. Yeah, now with the planetary done, like, this is an anchor right over here. Terran can keep falling back to this location. Medevac instead of the main base. Medevac also out on the middle of the map onto the creep. Looks like these will be picked up once again, forced back home. And right now, right, like every single time this battle goes wrong, Terrans can just run back to watch the planetary. It's a beautiful point to go back to. An anchor is really the best term that I can describe here. It feels like a very, very difficult thing to break if you're Zerg at this point in the game. And a really nice position to fall back to if you're Terran at this point. 3-3 coming up as well. Zerg still at that mid-game tier. So they're still at Lair Tech. They have a lot of mutas though. That muta count is slowly growing. 16 of them right now. You can start taking medevac fights with that. So you can kill like 8 mutas or 8 marines and a medevac just fine with that. You kind of need that value though. Yeah, 14 mutas have gone down this game. That's kind of where this game is rough. If there were like 25 mutas here, I think this would have been so much better for the Zerg. Okay, the base is taking damage. Oh, and it falls. That was like a... How long was that? Like a 7-minute long battle to get that one base. And all of the Terran units apparently will die here on the retreat as well. You know what? Mutas, I mean, they can't quite kill everything here, but this is quite nice. Right? Like, there's not enough area right here to cover that planetary fortress, so reinforcing bio units will be running on over to this direction as well. Hatchery falls immediately, though, gets replanted. Another base was made over here, too. Wouldn't be surprised to see the hatchery on the right-hand side coming up. Matter of fact, drop with Widow Mines inside of it this time. Oh. Standard 13-minute medevac drop. There's actually one empty medevac right now as well. This is the proper 200 IQ move over here. Pretending to go for a drop. Now, all kidding aside, while the hatchery falling was obviously not good, I liked every single move after that for the Zerg. Like, that was not bad at all. Ooh, that almost went terrible there as well. Are you really gonna roll into the planetary fortress? Really? Really? Okay, I guess really. There we go. Base is gone now. Now, even though that trade is nice, it's very expensive. And obviously Terran in the meantime has also been happily macroing. So on the right-hand side of the map, bottom right-hand corner that is, we see another planetary fortress also acquired. Would like to see this base coming up. That's the main command center currently floating over. Yeah, this has to be the highest game of StarCraft. I didn't actually consider that before I started casting it, but this has to be the highest match of TVZ ever. Isn't that cool? I mean, it's not quite your conventional game of TVZ, but these guys seem to have a very, very good time here controlling all of this. Now, that was huge. Okay, these Widow Mines just now may have turned the tide of battle there. Well, I mean, not even a ton of mutas fell. I guess the mutas have been split up. Yeah. So there are more mutas, but actually some of them split up. I thought maybe like just now 10 mutas or so fell there to 3 Widow memes. Yeah, still not a very good muta count at this point. They're gonna be replenishing it, but still lair tech, right? So we're talking like hive tech or tier 3, I guess, for the Terrans versus tier 2 here of the Zerg. And while technically that can work out, if Zerg has like, you know, a very high amount of mutas, or if they have like 90 workers, at this point they have neither of that. Doesn't mean that it can't happen and that it can't come, but this is certainly still an advantage right here for the Terrans. Oh! They manually targeted that Widow Mine in the middle of the clump of those veins. Nobody really seems to target fire Widow Mines, but that was amazing. Great work there by the Terrans. It's one of the things you can do when you focus all of your APM on just this one battle. By the way, just wanted to check. Apparently 1,300 actions a minute right now combined for the Zergs. That just goes to show how much APM actually goes to, like, macro, right? It's pretty sick. Like, the majority of the actions are always going to macro. Natural apparently mined out right now as well, and that decided to now fly on over towards this location. Usually something that the Zerg's gonna harass quite a bit, but you can see they are very, very much so pinned back. Constantly forced to deal with all of these drops. Bottom right-hand corner has been taken. Base over here has been taken as well. Terrans are absolutely dominating here. Oh, well, I say that. The mutas swoop in, kill one of those medevacs. A couple of units did end up dying there. Yeah, since this Terran army right now is very spread out, right? Since they have to also defend the right-hand side of this map. The Zerg can obviously get a lot more mobility here. Still, though, I love that bunker as well. That bunker's so helpful. It's one of those upgraded bunkers as well because of the building armor upgrade. Or whatever it's called these days, this one. They changed the name of that one a couple times. Basically, it's not a bunker upgrade and then the building armor all in one. Insane control here. But every single time I look at that minimap, right, I just think that the Terran player is getting further and further ahead. They haven't won this game. This game is far from over, but it's looking really good. Whenever you have a Terran player with this many bases and this little harassment going down as well, it's pretty insane. Good stuff. I would actually love to see like a transition maybe towards like Liberators or something along those lines. I guess they're just trying to like, you know, win this game just by playing bio, which is fair enough. I guess it's more microable, so maybe I take it back. Like, Liberators are nice and all, but yeah, maybe not necessarily the best way to play this. Okay. What exactly do you do if you're Zerg at this point? There's no hive tech. They can't really transition towards like infestors or anything like that either. I think it's just more of the same and then just hope you get a great connection. On paper, not a great strat to play, but realistically speaking, I mean, it's very easy for Terrans to accidentally like lose an entire clump of bio. Base over here starting to take a lot of damage. There's not enough marine, or there's not enough Zerglings here actually to kill all of this with that Widow Mine, I don't think. Okay, well, luckily there for the Zerg, not all of the Zerglings got blown up there. Medevac falls, top left-hand corner though, right now in a little bit of trouble, and that's just a bunch of bio units. Fully upgraded, ready to take down one of those hatcheries. Nice micro-bot, says Elazer. Yeah, no. Micro-bots. It's embarrassing. Yeah. I agree. Alright, so the hit squad of Marauders, though, managed to kill the base already. And while this expansion over here, I mean, it's not a planetary, right? That's the real problem here. It's not a planetary. It still has been slowly but surely mining these resources. This orbital command has been landed like 17 times here, but Oh, wow. Or that was actually a bailing drop, or a bailing burrow, I think. Yeah, this is still a really nice position to constantly fall back to. Bottom right-hand corner right now, also a planetary fortress. I guess it might come down to these bases over here. The awkward ones, the ones that nobody really wants to take. Oh, nice little bit of micro there once again. This time around on that overseer. Now here comes the Zerg swarm. Drop over here, Widow Mines! Oh, there's one of them. There's one of them. Good bit of control once again. Branda taking the hit. Oh, man. These Widow Mines are so valuable. We now even see high-sec auto-tracking finishing up, which is an upgrade that... Oh, once again, bailing. Hey, nice. That's an upgrade that increases the range on missile turrets in the planetary fortress, which I guess is nice. Oh, there's a lot of Zerglings, though. That is a lot of Zerglings. I mean, Terran's maxed out, so they have an army somewhere. This base over here should be overwhelmed right now. Oh, there you go. This could be the beginning of a comeback here. Still, though, there is so much army here for Terran. Like, look at the supply count right now. We're talking 200 supply versus 125 right here for Zerg with mid-game tech. They say GG. And with that, indeed, it is going to be the Terran players that obtain the victory 3-1 in this best of 5 series. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified as soon as I upload more. Videos. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to smile. And I'll see you once again in the next one.